Sorry, guys. Hey, guys. So, happy Mob Night. We're going to be doing something a little different this Sunday as I want us to get our gaming relaxation time. But I also wanted to discuss something related that has been laying heavy on my heart. And that is why video games suck these days. And I know this may seem totally random to you guys, or it may not, because you guys hear me complaining about it all the time. But I wanted to have like a real discussion together to get a sense of like how you guys are feeling and what's on your heart. I have loved video games for like a really long time, and they are the reason why I created a YouTube channel at the age of like 14, and they're why I have a Twitch stream now. Games are something I'm really passionate about, and it's been getting harder and harder to just sit back and enjoy playing for you guys. Which is why I pivoted my content towards like deeper things. You guys know on Mondays we have our Martini report in which we talk about current events. And on Thursday, we have our Love and Light show where we talk about, love and relationships. And I do this because I don't ever want to just give you guys like base entertainment. I can't get very passionate about just coming on here and looking cute and y'all watching some gaming content over and over like everyone else is doing. Honestly, even on my YouTube channel, when I first started it, I was making full long dissertation videos where I was like stating my opinions and backing them up with like research, informative facts, because it was just in me, even at like 14 or 15, to just constantly learn and then like share what I learned with the rest of the world. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Really? Yes, really. Actually, I can't wait to show you my YouTube channel like once I have it back up and running. But I have like a lot more followers on there than I do here. So I wanted to talk about my reasons for why I think video games suck nowadays and pull up some data and some videos that we can talk over. I also want to upload this to my YouTube page that I desperately need to start making content on again. So hi to my YouTube peoples, my YouTube subscribers. Have been inspired me for a really long time to keep up what I started back in high school. So I'm really proud to be able to show that I haven't gone anywhere, but that I've evolved for the better. So yay. Okay, the topic at hand. I have some bullet points of each thing that I want to rant about. So we're going to start from the most... Dionysus, get the fuck down. Ignore the black cat, you guys. Ignore the black cat. Ooh, did I just drop you? He's all right. He's okay. The bullet points that I'm going to rant about. The first one is probably the most obvious thing that I'm going to gripe about, and that's like the price increases. I want to share my screen with you guys. Hold on, let me put everything over here. I'm going to share my screen so I can show y'all these price increases. Is this the first one? Yeah. Okay, let me go ahead and zoom in. Hopefully you guys can see it a lot better that way. But in case you haven't noticed, or in case you didn't know, the new average price they're rolling out for the new video games is now $70. And that's news to me because I was still in the $60 game mentality, although that was already too damn high. But for a while it was $60, and then it was like $70 if you want the special bundle or the DLC or whatever the heck. I never chose that option. I was like, just give me it for $60. But maybe I've been under a rock, because now this article is saying that now the $70 price tag that the Legend of Zelda game it came out with is like the new normal, or it's going to be the new normal. Let me read it to you guys real fast. I miss it when it was $60. The fact that we miss it when it was $60 is honestly insane. But yes, I miss it too. So this article says this week Nintendo, and this came out in like February, so it's a little old. Says this week Nintendo announced that its upcoming game Tears of Kingdom, part of the Legend of Zelda series, will retail for $70. That's 10 more than the standard $60 price tag that most new games have stuck to for over a decade. But Nintendo isn't alone in raising prices. Xbox and PlayStation titles are getting more expensive too. $70 is becoming the new normal. Blah, 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 blah. This ever since video game titles are retailing for $60 around 2006. Am I crazy? 2006 sounds like it was so long ago. Like, that sounds like a whole different generation. It says the cost of video game production has risen, according to Neil Macker, an analyst at Morningstar. And then this is his quote. It says, it's not only just due to complexity, but increased salaries for programmers and creatives in general, as tech companies in Hollywood and video game companies are fighting for the same talent. Question, why are they fighting for the same talent? Like, okay, I just have a lot of issues with this one quote, because increased salaries, I mean, I hope they're getting their salary pay increases, but wages really haven't been going up like that. So I'm side-eyeing that. It said tech companies in Hollywood and video game companies are fighting for a lot of the same talent. That's another like thing that really has annoyed me, how they use so many like actors and have become a lot of these like big gaming companies focus on like, you know, these movie titles and like things like that. Like, I don't know. Is it just me, or has there just been a lot more actors in our video games, which has really been getting on my nerves? It's business now, so it sucks. Yeah, that in the short term. I mean, but technically it's always been a business. It feels so long ago. It does. I was like 2006. You might as well have said 1982. Like, what the heck? So it continues. It says those costs are also lingering far behind the game's initial release, since a lot of newer games have a longer lifespan that requires more maintenance and customer support. Yeah, I'm sure they have a longer lifespan. You know, people aren't freaking wanting to play a lot of these newer games y'all are putting out with. So we keep playing the same older games. Nicki Minaj is in Call of Duty. You know they paid her a pretty penny to get her in Call of Duty. Like, why does Nicki Minaj need to be in Call of Duty? Like, I like her music, but really, what's the reason? They just try to be all funny. Like, it's getting ridiculous. Anyway, it says that, and that then makes a lot of sense to say, hey, you know what? If we're going to be doing this, then we also need to be charging more for it. But he also said companies have covered a lot of those costs, though, in-game transactions like downloadable content and custom cosmetics. Upping price tags to $70, this guy says, is largely, I'd say, a move by platforms and publishers to capture more market value. In other words, companies can charge $70 now because they know people will pay for it. That's really what it is. People like Nicki encourages player base that likes her to spend money. Yeah, but how? I just really want to know the crossover between Call of Duty players and Nicki Minaj players. Money, money, money. That's what. That's why she's in COD. I mean, that's what this all is, you know. And it's really interesting because he's like, oh yeah, like it makes sense for it to be priced this much because we're doing all this stuff. You're doing all this stuff nobody asked you for. Like, y'all are making the decision to make these super complex, ridiculous games with all these celebrity talent people in them. And then you want to be like, oh, okay, and of course that's going to cost more money, so you guys are going to pay $70 now, and you'll pay for it. Like, what the heck? That just really irritated my soul. Like that article, well, really not the article, but the guy who was talking, like, that irritated my soul. So after reading this, the wheels in my brain started turning, and I was like, oh, wait, hold on. There's another article. Yeah, okay. So I started thinking about, like, how much exactly were video games in the past? Because I remember going to Toys R Us and wanting games and wanting the consoles when I saw the commercials. And I remember my dad complaining about the prices. But, you know, when I was a kid, numbers didn't mean much to me. I just wanted my dad to buy it, like, you know, whatever. So I don't really remember how much exactly everything was, like the actual price points. So I did some research. And this article was really interesting. This was one of the first ones that came up. It's by this video game analyst, Sam Najee, who I'm not entirely sure isn't a paid actor because he uses this article and the U.S. inflation calculator to create some graphs here. And they compare the prices of games in the past to the games today. And he uses this article like that gives the cost of all these different consoles and things to help compare. So what this guy is suggesting is that video games are actually cheaper now than in past generations. Or he says that they may be relatively cheaper than in past generations. Yeah. Let me look over it real fast with you guys. This was actually very interesting. Let me zoom in some more if you guys can't really fully read it on your screens. He says at the time of writing, the UK inflation rates are a 4-decade high and are just south of, yeah, this is him talking about the inflation, how inflation, of course, is part of the reason why, or a huge reason why the prices have gone up. Because we are seeing the effects of inflation everywhere. Commodity and food prices are up. McDonald's has increased its prices for the first time in over 14 years. Amazon price will increase its price for the first time in 8 years. This must be an older article. Even technology, which usually sees price decline with time, is not immune. Meta announced it will increase the price of its 2-year-old Quest headsets by $100. But what of video games? Besides collectors of retro video games and consoles, when the price of older video game technology goes up, you know there's a problem. Could we see the $70 price tag for new? Oh, we're already here at the $70. Could we see the $70 price tag go higher? So far, that is not the case, but anything is possible. If energy costs and the cost of goods keep on rising, how long will publishers absorb rising production prices before they pass it down to you and me? Unfortunately, this article cannot answer those questions, but it did make me think, how expensive are video games today? So then these are the graphs that he has here. And they're interesting. The first graph, this graph here, hopefully you guys can see it fine. Why? Because of inflation. That's not fair. That don't count. The fuck is $70 cheaper than $60? I know I suck at math. So what he's trying to argue is, like, basically when you when you account for the rise of inflation, we compare it to the past. If they were technically paying less than we would have in the past. Let me show y'all. So this first graph is showing the prices of these. I think these are just the consoles from, what is this? 1977 Atari to the PS5 in 2020 here on the end. So, and these are, I guess, the games. Yeah, these are the price of the games. So it started off at, $39.99, which, if you think about it, like, I feel like I remember my dad complaining about $40. Like, he was like, what? But yeah, games are $40 at first. Up until, was this 1985. Then it increases to $45. Then it increases to $50. Then here for the Super Nintendo, we have $60. And then this is really where I came into play over here with the PlayStation, because I was born in 1992. So the 1993 Atari Jaguar. It's so funny because I don't know a lot of these consoles or these. I mean, I know of Atari and everything, but I really had the PlayStation. So 1995 PlayStation. The prices for games are $50, which I think is low key kind of high. Like, I feel like that's even wild to think about. Like in the past, my dad was paying $50 per game, or it was supposed to be $50 per game, and all the games he wanted to play, those things definitely add up. I've always had the best of all worlds. I'm a gamer at heart. I'm a gamer too, but I've always just loved my PlayStation. Okay, and then here, the Xbox and the PlayStation increased it to $60 per game. This was in 2005, which I guess technically isn't that long ago, but okay. Wii came out. They had their Wii games for $50, which is wild because when you think about it, the Wii games, like the graphics for the Wii were, you know, like they were not there. They really should have been back to 30, but okay. And so then you have it where it's $60, where it had been $60 for the past recent years, and now we're up to $70. So much fun. So yeah, this is a graph that really shows, you know, just like the price increase, right? As you see the price go up as time goes up. But here, this is a graph that he has adjusted for 2022 prices. So this is with the price of inflation adjusted. So what he's arguing here is that that the Atari back in 1977, the games for it basically would have been paying like $200, almost $200 per game. Let me go back to the first one. $40 was the actual price, right? And what they're saying is that with the inflation adjusted, it would be like paying almost $200. That really stumped me because I'm like, is that true? $40 equates to $195? That's okay. So when you look at this, the rest of these as time goes on, you see that there's a decrease in the graph. So what they're trying to say basically is that we're paying closer and closer to, you know, the amount we're supposed to pay as time has gotten closer and closer to the present. And this had me really side-eyeing things, you know. This is another graph showing the comparison with the inflation adjusted. The disrespect, right? So that's why I said I feel like he's a paid actor, because I see what they're trying to show me with the numbers, but still, this is him. But still, something in my heart was not sitting right. This is another website that shows like the cost of launch for these things. So like the price of the Super Nintendo was $200, and the cost of it today would be $395. And of course, as you get closer and closer to now, that's so interesting. So the PlayStation was $299. To me, that's pretty wild. Even paying $300 for this, and that's without the inflation price. That's pretty wild. Why was it so much? I know the memories. Sorry, they're coming back. I had literally this. My cousin had this. Of course, you had to have the Game Boy. I can't believe that. That was $89.99. Do you think these were worth that price? We was alive before the internet. Oh yeah, we know, not before the internet. Stop. Before they added the online connectivity, yeah. That's what things changed from here to here. This bad boy. Such good times. Such good times. But yeah, let me go back to the big screen. Let me go back to over here. So I'm not going to say that, you know, this is a bad article. It seems, you know, researched and well thought out and everything like that. I think for what it is, from that perspective, sure, it makes sense, I guess. But what's really bothering me about this article and articles like this is that it completely ignores the bigger picture. You know what I mean? You can say, oh yeah, technically if you account for inflation, then the prices are going to keep going up. But if you take a magnifying glass to what the inflation is, things are still not making sense. You know? The powers that be and the baby boomers have been fighting for wage increases, or fighting against wage increases, for a while. So if the price of gas is going up, the price of food is going up, rent is going up, but people's incomes are relatively staying the same, or they're increasing, but they're not increasing enough to make much of a difference, then it's still not adding up. You know, where is the money going? And I've been going to I could delve further into this on Monday, which I'm probably going to for the Martini report. But it's coming out that a large reason for the inflation that's happening to us now is, surprise, surprise, corporate greed. They are calling this the greedflation era. It's not even inflation anymore. They're calling it greedflation because we, the workers, are getting told things just need to be more expensive for production costs, and there's not enough money to go around. Meanwhile, corporate profits are through the roof, and CEOs and billionaires are still taking their jets to their country clubs and paying $200,000 to die in the ocean to see the Titanic. And they're just living their hunky-dory lives. You know what I'm saying? So, let me show you real quick this other article that I actually found really interesting. I'm not going to get him out of my face. I'm not going to read it, but this is just like something I suggest reading if you have the time. It's an insider article. And I'm not going to stay long on this because I can talk about the effects of late stage capitalism literally all day. But we have to stay focused on games. But I just wanted to show you guys real quick these two articles. There's so many more out there. If you don't like to read, you know, look it up on TikTok or YouTube or something. But this article does a really good job in explaining how these monopolistic corporations are the true problem behind these price increases. And this graph here, this graph that I pulled up here, compares the difference between the inflation rate and the growth of wages in the U.S. And as you can see, like, look at this. This is just from 2020 to 2023, so a 3-year difference. The blue line here are our wages, our income. And the black line is the inflation. How much is decreased and increased. And as you can see, it started off a few years ago, relatively normal. And then, ding, pandemic time, inflation goes up crazy, right? And I know you're thinking, oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. You know, COVID, we had a shutdown and everything increased and things like that. But as those things stop being a problem, and yet things decrease a little bit, if you notice, they're still above where it used to be. This is just 2020 over here. It was at 2.5%. Over here, even at the lowest, it's at 3%. And it's increasing again now. So either way, even when they say, oh yeah, like, you know, inflation is decreasing and da 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 da. Yeah, it's decreasing, but look where it's decreasing from. It's still higher than what we were paying in the past, and it still is overall increasing. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, we did have COVID, like I was saying, but as this article explains, a lot of these companies have used the pandemic and production issues as an excuse to pass the cost on to us. So while we can say, Mr. Sam Najee, that the numbers you're looking at say that the cost of games are cheaper, if you account for like the cost of living, the prices are still ridiculous. Okay? And this goes on like to my next gripe with these major game companies. It's like Dr. Evil switching from camera to camera. But it must be done. So the in-game purchases, this is my next main gripe, okay? This is the next thing I'm pissed about. This is my main another reason why I say video games suck these days. So the in-game purchases and the games being finished or unfinished at release date. So I know that in-game purchases were going to be a headache when they first introduced it in Elder Scrolls. And interestingly, a horse armor in the Elder Scrolls Oblivion was the first DLC to be sold for $2.50. And they said it was they sold it as an experiment to test how the market would react to DLC. Now people say, well, technically microtransactions, that's what, DLC is. These microtransactions started back in some old ass arcade games, but DLC as we know it started with Skyrim Oblivion. And while a lot of us, including me, were mad at even the idea of having to pay more for content in a game we already paid for, a lot of people they bought it up. They paid their $2.50, honey. They bought it up. So DLCs became a thing. They tested to see how we would react to it, and it worked for them. So I don't think I have to explain how absolutely ridiculous it is to pay $60 to $70 for a game and then pay even more for additional content in the game that you paid for. So I won't stay on this point for long, but even the games that they had made free to play just so that they could get you into the door of downloading the game and then have you realize, oh wait, it's way better if I buy the DLC. I just, that is so evil. That is so insidious to me. I feel like it's manipulative, So the game series that does this the worst, in my opinion, is Sims. You guys know I love The Sims. I was just playing it yesterday. But I can't even say that I love it anymore because I and most of the Sims community we're actively involved, okay, in an abusive relationship with Sims, with EA. EA has shown its customers time and time again that they don't give a F about us. Not only do they completely ignore most of what the fans in the Sims community actually want, despite how very, very vocal we are about it, they have the audacity to give us Sims 4, which is undeniably the worst game in all the Sims series. And I say this because they put out the base game for free, but they made the game so bland and so boring to play unless you buy the expansion packs for retail. And they retail for about $40 per expansion pack. So if you add up just the expansion packs altogether for The Sims 4, the game would be $529.96. And that's just the expansion packs. That's how much the game is. $529.96 for Sims 4. Don't be laughing. Do not laugh. I told you, I'm coming out as an abused victim. Let me show you guys. Let me show y'all real quick. Big business. Yeah, they did their thing with that one, huh? So, with Sims, let me zoom in a little bit. With the Sims, there are game packs. Like, this is something different than the expansion packs. The expansion packs are like the bigger packs. That'll include typically like a new city and like some, new things, some different things you can do. But then they added game packs, which are basically like smaller expansion packs. They'll add like a little bit of something, a little bit of something into your game. So those retail for $20 each. Then they have stuff packs, and stuff packs are just basically like new content, like new items and stuff you can add to your inventory. Those things are $10 each per stuff pack. And once again, these are just furniture, things like that. So that's stuff packs. And then and that's not all. Then they have kits, Sims 4 kits. And these are $5. These are basically smaller stuff packs. So they didn't get me. I didn't pay for all of these, okay? No one in their right mind, I'm sure there's plenty of people that did, would buy all of these things together. But I know there's some people that do have a lot of them. I definitely do not have a lot of them. I have like a sprinkle of amount. So if you were to buy all the downloaded content provided to make the Sims 4 game as amazing as it could be or should be, you would be paying $1,000.64. No, $1,640. I can't read numbers. Where is it? Overall, $1,604.45 for one game. And this is a game that is buggy, that has no real storyline or storyline value as compared to the past games in the series. And then you can find way more fun and interesting and free modded content online made by people who aren't game developers working at EA. That's insanity. That's pure insanity. But this is the world we live in. This is the world we have subscribed to. I mean, I don't remember pressing the subscribe button. That's what y'all kept pressing, that subscribe button. And this is what we got now. This is what we got to deal with. Sims is a whole lifestyle. It was. Like, Sims 3 was definitely something I could be on all day, every day, for sure. And I really enjoyed, I don't know, did you ever play Sims Busting Out? I love Sims Busting Out. Like, I really wish it was Sims Busting Out that was really good. And then they had Sims Herbs. I feel like not as many people play Sims Herbs. That was really fun. That's when you like were basically trying to get your way up to be a celebrity. And then Sims Busting Out, you try to like get your sim to move into nicer and nicer cities and areas. So it was basically like a very like linear experience, which I guess some people didn't like, or they didn't like. I liked it. I didn't mind playing those over and over again. And Busting Out was actually really, or not Busting Out, The Sims Earth was actually really, really hard. They didn't even have those games available to play anymore. Like, I was literally looking like, oh, can I play Sims Herbs? Or can I play like the really old Sims? Like, I'll play those right now if I could. I played the Herbs, really? Yes. It was so fun. I hated they didn't come out with a new, yes. And then they have the audacity to make it so that you cannot at all play any of the old ones. I even tried to see if anyone, like, I don't know, you know how sometimes people can like find a way to upload an old game for you to play, or at least create a simpler game. No, they are having that stuff on lock. They will not give us back our herbs. Your Sims achieved a greatness. My Sim, I had a really hard time at one of the places. I can't remember. Like, I got stuck at one point. It was with that guy. He was like a celebrity. He had like the baggy pants. He kind of looked like 50 Cent. Do you remember him? You had to like schmooze him and schmooze some other people. The way they had the Sims herb dressing was ridiculous. They look crazy out there. But it was so fun. Oh my god. That's the homie. Yeah, they would like call you on the cell phone and everything. Yeah, different things you were supposed to do. Like, yes, give me a challenge. I miss that stuff. And they are absolutely evil for not letting us play it anymore. But yeah, that leads me to my next point of why the video game industry has been pissing me off. And that's the overall lack of creativity. And I know this doesn't apply to all video games, and there are still indie developers out there that are trying their darndest to compete with the big wigs. But generally, I've noticed like that my excitement for these new game releases have decreased rapidly. I don't think it's just me. There are a lot of gamers I've noticed that have taken to playing older games or their favorite video game that they're holding on to desperately. It goes back to what that guy was saying in the first article when he said that we play games longer than we used to. So they have to keep their customer service and their servers up and all that. But yeah, the reason why we are stuck on the same games for a while is because you guys aren't giving us good content to want to keep buying more and more. You guys are jacking up the prices, making these games an investment now, and then you're making these complicated games that no one asked for. No one asked for. I may be crazy, but the main thing I know we wanted as gamers, at least I wanted as a gamer, was just better graphics. Just better graphics, you know? It was exciting to see how much better graphics could increase over the years. And it was exciting to get that new console and compare it to the Xbox or the PlayStation and see, okay, which one, you know, who had the better graphics, you know? But like, I feel like the graphics are as good as they're going to get for a while, or at least they're as good as they need to be. You know what I'm saying? The graphics, I think they've come to the end of the line with that. The next step would have to be like holograms or virtual reality, and so far that has been a disappointment overall. It's just not as cool as I thought it was going to be. So, like, not yet anyway. Then they have the audacity to create. Don't get me started on Roblox. The most I enjoy virtual reality is in those like expensive arcade ones, you know what I'm saying? When you go to the arcades and they have those like humongous ones. Like, I do like that virtual reality. But who's gonna have that in their house for real? Like, come on now. So y'all, and I keep saying y'all because I'm talking to the video game industry, you know, at this point. Hopefully this video blows up and somebody over there is freaking listening. So y'all became so focused on the graphics and the visuals and the online features, so much so that you forgot about like what video games are about. Like, why we like video games in the first place. We love the storytelling that came with the games. We love the challenges. We love the connectivity. And if you think about it, the games we typically enjoy playing the most are like the simplest games. Among Us was dubbed the most popular and the most played game ever. And it's just you and your friend in a 2D spaceship trying to figure out who killed the other person. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't really need to be everything doesn't need to be these overcomplicated, you know, video games that they keep pumping out. Let me show y'all. Do I have that article pulled up? Oh, this is still on The Sims. I didn't even show y'all that stuff about The Sims. Though I'm not even gonna keep going on The Sims because I could. But yeah, so when I was, you know, looking things up, I looked up, why do people play old video games? And I noticed that people are online trying to figure out why everyone wants to play old games now. You know? Is it nostalgia? They're saying nostalgia is the main motivation. Is it nostalgia? Or are the old games just better? And considering the fact that a lot of the games released now are just continuation of older series, and they're banking on nostalgia to keep us hooked, I feel like that goes to show that the games, you know, these days are just not doing a good job. They're just not coming out with good. They're just not coming out with good games because they are banking on the nostalgia, and their nostalgia, the new games aren't hitting like that. A lot of these games are stale. They're soulless. They're pretty, but, you know, for a while, and then you're just like, and they're fun to play for a while, but then you're just like longing to have something more. And I personally think the more that people are looking for is like, oh, connectivity. Let me switch over to this screen. I think people mainly are looking for community these days and connectivity. You know, I think that's really the key to the sauce that is missing. Because like some of my earliest memories involve sitting next to my little brother or playing games with my cousins and my uncles and my aunts. They would come over and sit next to me on the couch and, you know, push me when I win or when I lose. We don't have that anymore. You know, these game developers are so focused, or these companies are so focused on making everything online. A family needs to have like 2 or 3 PlayStations in the house just to be able to play together. And then when online games first became a thing, it was really dope. Like, absolutely. I love being able to play with Kyle and Tim and Jack, who I didn't know a few cities over. But as we grow up and as our schedules get busier, it's harder and harder to catch our friends online wanting to play the exact same game we want to play, like when we're ready to play it. And then they had things like the PlayStation Home. Did you have the PlayStation Home, or are you always an Xbox person, Reborn? The PlayStation Home was really, really dope. I always talk about how much I love the PlayStation Home. I don't know if you had it. You did have it? Oh my gosh. Was that the shit to you? That was the shit to me. Oh my god, let me not curse. That was the curse. It's like Sims for the PlayStation. Yeah. Look, I have the video. This is a documentary someone had. And I really want to take the time to watch the full documentary. But they have some actual...
It's all about social...
clips of the freaking PlayStation Home. Where are the Xbox people? Did Xbox have anything like this? Look at that. Okay. I feel like the graphics were better, but probably not much better. No, the Xbox never had anything like this. See? Another reason why PlayStation superior. Oh, this guy is talking about it. But yes, this is what it looked like. They make avatars and that's it. That's lame. It was such a good idea. I'm sad that it went away. But Xbox have whole games dedicated to the avatar. Really? Yeah, this looks like a really good documentary, but that's what it looked like. This is what the PlayStation Home looked like. It was dope. If they had something like this now, I definitely wouldn't want to be in the same server with any kids. Like, I feel like 18 and under servers should be a completely separate server than like the 18 and up. I don't want to be around kids trying to, talk to kids on the PlayStation Home. But I definitely wish they had something like this, like something that basically pushes connectivity more, like they used to. It's an American Ninja meets Wipeout. Wait, what? You ever played Doritos Crash Course? I don't think I did. That sounds fun. Was that like one of those website games? Those like random websites? Where's my next article? Is this what I wanted to show? Oh yeah, because this is about the last point I wanted to make. And look, see, I be really researching. I really be looking things up. This is from Stanford University. This is a real research article, okay, y'all? I'll give y'all the best. But this really goes to show, like, this leads me to my last point, which is that there's, like, a less emphasis on co-op games than there were before. And honestly, well, yeah, these, like, last 2 points, the connectivity and the co-op games and the creativity, they really could all be meshed together. But in general, I just want more of an emphasis on co-op games. Because studies show that teamwork, trying to solve a problem together, it pushes motivation. You know, people find it intrinsically rewarding. See that? They find it intrinsically rewarding to like do something together, to work on something together. And it drives communication and collaboration. And this article, and of course, like with other articles that I found, they put an emphasis, the research is an emphasis on the workplace and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like it can apply to anything, you know? Like, have some more co-op. That's what I want. A lot more fun co-op games. But yeah. I just feel like people are more drawn to play a game when they can play with their friends, you know? And unfortunately, a lot of these game servers can be so toxic. So just putting a whole bunch of random gamers of like varying ages in a game lobby isn't going to create friendships. I can't tell you how many people have added me into their friends list only to never play with me again or hit me up again. Same thing with Discord. You know, how many Discord servers do we see where there's like a bunch of people in the server, but only like a third, if that, of them are active or interacting with each other? And that's because these spaces alone are not enough. Like playing with some random person you've never seen in order to win a match and then never seeing them again after isn't driving community. So I would personally like to request, you know, more fun mainstream co-op games, more emphasis on that, you know, and more games that you can play with people that are physically sitting next to you, more storylines, more creativity. And even with that, even with creativity, even if they make new games that replay on old ideas, but just better, like I wouldn't be mad at that. Like Among Us is a game based off an old idea of like who done it and the Clue game, but no one is mad at that. I'm not mad at that. So, you know, I just feel like they could do better. And I know this is impossible. And I know I'm just speaking to Allah at this point. But if there could be just a bit less capitalism, a smidge less capitalism in our games, please, Lord. Please, Lord. I would be happy. Yes, I'm a gamer. You only just scratching the surface. I tell you, I really do love games. I just haven't been feeling as passionate playing them anymore. Because of all the reasons I just stated. So yeah. That's it. Thank you for listening to my rant today. That's my video for this evening. For those watching me on YouTube, please be a part of my initiative to bring back community to our gaming. And give me a like and a subscribe. Join the Martini Mob, as we are the mob. And yeah, that's what we call ourselves. I want like a mission to like enlighten the world, brick by brick, video by video. And it would be awesome if you guys join us. We have a Discord and a Twitch and more things coming out. So thank you guys for watching and listening to me rant on and on. I appreciate it.